Alright, so in my other videos you see me talking about dealing with my noise issues. And so a couple things I've done was the mag loop receive, can never remember it, the W6 LVP mag loop receive on a rotator. That's helped probably about 33% of the third of the time that I wouldn't be able to get anything. There's still a lot of noise, but at least now I was able to make up, a bit with that. And then I added the MFJ 1026 to phase, the noise canceling signal enhancing device. I'm about 50% of the time I can actually hear something now that I've learned how to use both tools successfully and rotating the antennas. But I still have to strain. I did get me a new pair of headphones. I haven't been able to use them yet because I had to get an adapter to convert the 1/4 inch down to 1/8 inch jack, which hasn't came yet. These should help give me a little more edge to be able to hear. But the other thing that I wanted to do is I'm missing out on all my opportunities. Obviously, 20 meter works some of the time. Anything above 20 meters, 17 I might be able to hear something once in a while, but everything above that is, if you look at the bands, they're shot. There's nothing happening on those for the most part. They're not going to be open. In addition to all my noise issues, I need to have more options. That's one way to combat the noise. It's like, duh, have more options. I can listen to 80 meters and I can hear them fine. And that's without even trying to tune any of my gear as far as rotating antennas and stuff. I can hear them just fine. But I can't talk on 80 meters because I only got a 40 meter antenna. And I don't really have space for anything else. Or the money to run out and buy a vertical. And if I bought a vertical, what kind of noise might that bring in? You get it. It's all about money. Eventually I might be able to do it. But the issue too is you have to compromise. You start using a compromised antenna. Will a 100-watt radio be enough power? That's one reason why I upgraded to 100 watts in my house. The Yaesu FT-891 5 watts. I love that radio. Don't get me wrong. I actually really I love it. It's a fun radio. And it does just fine, even with 5 watts, as long as your antenna is resonant. 5 watts is great. I've done DX with 5 watts. It's not an issue. Obviously, there's no way I'm going to have 5 watts resonant on 160 meters on my lot. That's impossible. So if I have 100 watts and I lose a lot of efficiency and I'm only pumping out 1, I might still be able to be heard. Because it might at least get 1 watt out. We'll see. So the issue is I've got this little this 891. I got this 891 and then I have the crappy tuner that comes with it. The FC50. And that FC50 is about the same as any tuner in any radio. It's, can handle a 3-to-1 SWR. That's all it can correct, which is what, about 150 ohms. I was looking at the MFJ tuner, and it's like, oh well, I want to try that MFJ tuner, but the one I'm looking at is $225, and it can do SWR of 32-to-1. Tune that down, basically 1600 ohms is what it can tune into. It could be off by 1600 ohms. How much power will I really have coming out of 100 watts if I have to tune something that's really, really bad? Will I even be heard? Do I want to spend $225 on that if it's really not going to help? Then I realized something. I still have this. Now this little guy, this is a Kenwood AT-120. I picked it up at a ham fest when I first started in Wisconsin. I got it for $60. It can handle a 10-to-1 ratio is what it says. However, it says 300 ohm. I'm going to run my antenna into this first, tune it as close as I can get it, and then run that into my FC50. And we're going to see if we can get this 40 meter tuned on 80 meters. And then I'm going to see if I'll do a whisper test and see if I'm even heard anywhere. And, well, we'll go from there. All right, so it is 9:30 Central Time, and I'm on 3916. So now I'm going to take this, and this is hooked to my tuner on my other antenna, and let's see if I can tune 3916. All right, so we got it at tuned on the tuner. I've got it tuned down to 2.0. That's as good as I can get. So let's go ahead and plug this now into the radio. So now I've got it plugged into the tuner, then to the radio. So now I have the AT-120 tuner plugged into my Yaesu tuner. And I'm going to see if I can tune this any better. Well, my battery's dead, so I have to let my battery charge first. I'm going to have to just come back to try this. I'll try it in the morning. I'm going to let things charge up. So this is the results after going through 2 tuners. Let's just see if I can break in. Kilo Echo Zero Lima Charlie Sierra. Kilo Echo Zero Lima Charlie Sierra. I don't know if it's because, but it says the SWR was really good. I mean, so as far as the radio knows, it doesn't realize I'm going through 2 tuners. It should just think it can transmit. So I'm not sure what's up with that. I am in lower sideband. Okay, so I'm trying 3919. I was able to tune it. Alright, so I've totally bypassed everything. And I'm finding that it says it's only putting out 50 watts. I haven't had this radio that long, but it's supposed to be 100 watts on single sideband. So I'm a little perplexed. But in any case, no one can hear me at all at 50 watts. 50 watts majorly tuned is like doing me nothing. So it's just like a dummy load. So at this point, I'm not seeing that buying a nicer tuner would be beneficial at all, but I got to figure out how to get to 100 watts. Okay, it could just be I need to let my battery recharge more, because that maybe is what the problem is. Okay, that's what it was. The battery had to charge up a little bit, and now I'm almost getting up to 100 watts when I talk. So it must go by that. CQ, now it's low again. CQ, Kilo Echo Zero, Lima Charlie Sierra. I have to say, man, 100 watts. I need to just get. I'll tell you what I'm using, and this is the issue. It worked fine when I was using my Yaesu 817ND. No issue at all. I wanted to use a battery because it uses less. It makes less noise, and so I picked up for dual purpose a jump starter for my car. One of those, and it worked fine for 5 watts. This thing, literally, I just saw it do almost 100 watts when I was transmitting a second ago. Well, apparently just that one transmit sucks so much current that now it's back down to only doing 50 watts. Plus, for example, this radio, I can't even keep up with charging this thing off. This thing won't charge fast enough. If this radio just sits and runs, it'll drain that battery faster. If it's just sitting and receive, it'll drain that battery faster than I can charge it. People wanted to know how, if using something like this on solar, or the FT-857 for solar. These things suck so much power. I would never use them for portable. And I mean that's obvious to anybody, but I know some people have talked about it and asked, well, why don't you just buy the 857 as opposed to the 817, because the 857 has 100 watts. And the truth is these things suck so much power just on receive compared to something like the 817. The 857 and this guy here, this is the 891. I would hate to try to use these off solar. I mean, I'm sure it could be done, but you'd be carrying around a big panel to power it. My 817, I can literally use a unfolding 160 60 watt? Yeah, I think it's only, how big is that panel? That's not 160 watt. See this guy here, 60 watt? There's no way I'd ever take this little panel and even have enough power to use for receive only on an 857 or an 891. So to anybody ever asking, why would you buy the 817? Unless you have the money to buy something like a KX2 or a KX3. I guess there's some other radios out there, but the 817 is like perfect for portable. It's a little durable radio. Just spreading these things out, I don't know. This is turning out to be a kind of an odd little segment because I don't know where I'm going with it. Nothing's working. So it's just a few days of experimenting. Yeah, it's already down to 12.6 volts. One transmit knocked it down to 12.6 volts. Let me try it again. Kilo Echo Zero Lima Charlie Sierra. So no one's hearing me. This is several failed attempts on 80 meters, tuned with 2 tuners. No one is hearing me. So First off, I'm only able to do 50 watts because I don't have enough power. So I need to just buy a power supply, a legitimate power supply. This little battery thing is not going to work for what I'm trying to do at this point. I'll do some research on that. So before I even worry about a tuner, I need to make sure I can put out 100 watts. Because at 50 watts, going through a tuner, trying to tune 40 meters, it's just, I'm losing too much. So this is where I'm at with this test so far. I don't need to worry about buying a tuner. I need to first get my power. I need more power. I need to get not more wattage on my radio, but more power so that I can get the wattage out of my radio that it has, because it's only transmitting 50 watts. And that's because I don't have enough coming from that battery. So ideally, I know a lot of people use batteries because you don't have to have it plugged in and you're going to get less noise. So I don't know what I'd have to get, and this is a portable rig, so in theory I should be able to run off a battery. But maybe I just need to get a bigger battery and also something bigger to charge that battery, which I do have an actual battery charger here, so that shouldn't be an issue. But I'm going to have to research that. So that's where I'm at with this project. So far at this point, total fail, but I did learn some stuff before even looking at a nicer tuner to see if I can get anything out of this 40 meter on 80. I need to get more current to my radio, more amperage, so that I can actually push the 100 watts out. So that's frustrating. All right, next project, power.